Cooking from scratch can look a lot of different ways. It can be very complicated and fancy and really dressed up, or it can be simple, basic, down to earth, and still really, really good. So today I am bringing you along in a raw, real day of cooking from scratch, unedited, just real what we really do. Sometimes when I film recipes for my channel, I will take special effort and special steps to make it one way or another that I think will turn out to be extra special for the camera. But I know that that's not always what real life looks like, so I wanted to take a chance to share what things look like on just a normal day when that's not what I'm trying to do. On this particular day, my husband is home, and whenever he's home, he makes breakfast. That's just something that we started doing along the way, and we've stuck with it. It's just always the way it is. So he likes it. I like it because I get a break. He likes to, help out and take a turn making food and enjoys the process of that. And so that's what we're doing this morning. He makes scrambled eggs and then he'll do a meat to go alongside either bacon or sausage. And we are doing some all natural pork sausage links this morning. So he has those going in a cast iron skillet. The scrambled eggs are going in another cast iron skillet. He put some bacon grease. We'll either use bacon grease or butter in the skillet and then eggs, and then he likes to sprinkle some raw cheddar cheese in with the eggs as they're cooking, and that's going to be our breakfast for today. For lunch today, we are doing one of the things that we love to do. And again, this doesn't make for the most exciting cinematic movie to watch, but it's real and it's what we do. And there's so many good reasons to do it. We are having leftovers. So exciting. So today we are having some typical things that we oftentimes have on hand just because they're things that we oftentimes make for dinner. One of them is some beef roast with some carrots and potatoes. And the other thing is some liver pate that we're having on sourdough bread. And then the other is sourdough pizza. So what we'll do when we have a meal that's made up of leftovers like this is we'll just get them all out. The things that we want to heat up, we'll heat up, and then we'll just kind of ask people, what would you like to have? And they'll pick what things they like to have, and we'll serve them up on plates, and that's our meal. Super easy. It's very thrifty, money saving, because you're not letting anything go to waste. So easy, like I said. Did I say how easy it is? Because you're not cooking for another meal. You're just pulling things out, heating them up, enjoying them again. If you don't love spending all day in the kitchen, now, I'm not going to say that I don't enjoy cooking because I do. I love spending time in the kitchen and cooking. But sometimes I want to do other stuff, and sometimes I don't have the time to spend all day in the kitchen. I have other things that I need or want to do. And so during times like that, being able to pull leftovers out and enjoy them is amazing. So if you're not doing this, I just highly recommend it. It's kind of like one of those things where you're meal prepping ahead of time, but it just happens. So what I mean is when you make your normal meals, like for dinner, what I like to do is intentionally make more than we need for that meal. And that way I know that we have food for lunches, or even if you've been watching my videos for a while, you might remember that sometimes we'll do a dinner like this too. If it's a weeknight or even a weekend, and I notice, hey, we've got a lot of food in here. It doesn't really make sense to make a whole new meal. Let's just have a leftover night. We'll do it for dinner too, but most often we do it for lunch. and it's great for so many reasons. So that's lunch for today. And then we are also having something in the middle of the afternoon. One of the things that I love to include on a regular basis is milk kefir. And so every so often, every few days or so, depending on the weather, how warm it is or cool it is, it'll be time to strain the milk kefir. So we'll strain the grains out of that, use it to make something, or just drink it plain, and then put the kefir grains into fresh milk and get another batch going. So today I'm just getting those kefir grains strained, and we're just going to actually drink it plain today. So we're going to have glasses of plain milk kefir. And if you're new to the idea of milk kefir, you might wonder why it's so great, why I love it so much. And it's because it's like yogurt, but it's a lot more powerful. That's one reason. It has a lot more beneficial bacteria. It also has a lot of beneficial yeasts in it. So it's like a probiotic powerhouse. And then the other reason that I like it so much is that it's actually a lot easier to make than yogurt, too. You make it using these little things called kefir grains. It's actually a type of a SCOBY. So they are a little symbiotic bacteria and yeast colony, and they take the milk, they take the sugars, the lactose from the milk, and they break it down. They actually eat it, and then they produce all kinds of great benefits. And so that's how it works. So it's a lot easier to keep around. So it just ferments on the countertop or cultures on the countertop at room temperature. There's no need to heat it to a special temperature like you need to do when you make yogurt. There's no need to keep a certain starter around the grains that you use. These little symbiotic colonies are very, very hardy. They actually multiply as you make your batches of kefir, and so you have to actually get rid of them. You can share them with friends, you can eat them. I feed mine to our chickens a lot of the time because they're a nice little probiotic boost for them. But it's just a lot easier because you know with yogurt how the starter culture will weaken over time and you have to get a new one every so often. You have to heat it to a certain temperature for a certain amount of time. With kefir, you don't have to worry about any of that. You just mix your little grains into your milk, you let it sit on the counter, strain them out, use it, repeat. So, so easy, and you get greater benefits. So that's why I like it. You can use different types of milk to make kefir. I like to make it with raw milk. I love raw milk, but that's a personal decision based on research and experience. But you can use pasteurized milk. It's nice if you can find low temperature vat pasteurized milk to use. It's nice if it's grass fed and organic. Any of those will work. You can also make cream. You can make a cultured cream that's kind of like sour cream with kefir. That's also really tasty and loaded with benefits as well. But yes, so today we're doing kefir for kind of our afternoon snack. And then also some pears. We're cutting up pears. I love pears. They're one of my favorite fruits. And they're supposed to be high in minerals, I heard. I think they're supposed to be high in magnesium and maybe some other minerals. So I don't know. I just really enjoy them. And so they're oftentimes my go-to snack when I want some fruit in between meals. So we're doing some pear slices and some kefir. And that's our midday snack. Now, we don't always do a snack in the middle of the day, but sometimes if lunch was earlier and dinner is going to be later or whatever, maybe I didn't eat as much for lunch as I maybe wanted to, or got interrupted, or you know how life can be hectic with little kids and interruptions and different things. For whatever reason, sometimes it's really handy to just have something in between meals, but don't get the idea that I do it all the time. It's like an as needed thing. I have no problem eating whenever I need to, or if I'm not hungry, then I don't worry about it. Today is Tuesday, and I like keeping kind of themes going with dinners to fit on different days of the week. It makes it so much easier when I decide to think about what to make for dinner and just making that whole thing so much easier. So, Tuesday, we like to take the theme of Mexican. So, Taco Tuesday is kind of our theme. So, oftentimes we'll have something that's like tacos or burritos or enchiladas or something along that line. And the simplest, easiest go-to that I just automatically make on a Tuesday when I don't want to have to think about anything extra is just our soft tacos. So we keep those simple, but we like to include a lot of toppings. So we have ground beef most often for the meat. I'll brown that in a pan with onion, garlic, salt. Sometimes I'll add other things, but I have a young baby right now who's eating the meat along with us, so I don't want to make it too spicy for her, so I keep it pretty simple with salt, onion, and garlic right now. Have that browning in a pan, and then while that's cooking, I'll start working on some of the toppings. We usually have lettuce. We like to cut up tomatoes. We like to slice avocado. We like to have some sour cream, some cheese, and then some organic salsa. So we just get those things ready, and um, as my meat is cooking, and then we have some organic flour tortillas. Sometimes I'll make sourdough tortillas. That's not been in my sourdough rotation lately. I was thinking that I should probably bring those back though, just because they are so nice. I'll go in and out. I'll kind of rotate through different things depending on what I want benefits for, what's easy, what's available, what's, a good choice to buy, all those different factors, how much time I have, it all fluctuates and changes throughout different seasons of life. But for right now, I've been using some organic, all natural flour tortillas, and those have been working well for us. So that's what we're using today. When it comes to meal planning, to keep things really easy and simple so that I don't have to stress whenever life gets busy, I like working around meat. So I'll start with the meat, I'll start with the cuts of meat that I take out of the freezer. I'll oftentimes get in a routine of taking a bunch of different cuts of meat out of the freezer about once a week. But here's a confession, I've not been very good at that lately. I've been kind of flying by the seat of my pants a little bit lately. So, yeah, that's how things have been a little bit lately. Just things I've been kind of busy. There's a lot of different things going on right now. So, I sort of work with the loose template of ground beef a couple times a week, a roast on Monday. We keep our Mexican Taco Tuesday theme for Tuesdays, Italian theme for Thursdays, and then kind of fit other stuff in between there. So that's how I keep it easy so I don't have to stress when life is super busy and I still need to get a nice homemade from scratch meal on the table. I start with the meat, pull stuff out of the freezer. If I can, take a variety out about once a week and let it defrost, but if push comes to shove, you just take some ground beef out, take a roast out, throw it in the oven frozen. If it's early enough in the day, it'll be cooked just fine by dinner time. It's okay. So let me know in the comments, how are you with that kind of thing? Do you have a really organized way of defrosting meat and planning meals, and how detailed do you get? I know that for me, if I get too detailed with it, then it becomes more stressful and more overwhelming. And it's better just to keep it loose and to have sort of a template to guide me. Like I mentioned, roast on Monday, Taco Tuesday on Tuesdays, Italian on Thursday, and then we'll fit in some other things. Wednesdays will oftentimes be like a slow cooked type of meat of something else, like maybe a brisket, maybe a roasted chicken, or 2 or something like that, and then Friday can be something more like liver pate. Saturday has been pizza lately. So that's kind of the template that I follow, but of course we switch it up if things need to be changed around for a different reason, but it's nice to have just kind of a guide in mind that I can just default to, so I don't have to worry if things get too busy. Now, on this particular day, we also wanted to do something for a little bit of a treat for a dessert. We kind of have a template for desserts too. We kind of call them dessert nights, and we don't stick to this 100% strictly all the time, but it is kind of a nice little guideline to have to keep things fun and the kids kind of know what to expect more or less. But we generally say Sundays, Tuesdays, and Fridays are dessert nights. So if we are going to have a dessert, it'll most likely be on one of those nights. So today we are doing something so easy. It's chocolate milk. So this is our nice raw grass-fed milk that we have. And what I'll do is I'll put a small amount of milk in my blender. I'll add some cocoa powder, a little splash of vanilla extract sometimes. I don't always do that. And then some sucanat. It's basically unprocessed cane juice. It has all the vitamins and minerals still in it. So I'll blend that with just a little bit of milk, not all the milk because my blender wouldn't be able to hold that and it would make a huge mess. And then I'll just whiz that up really thoroughly. And then I'll add that kind of concentrate back to the rest of the half gallon of milk. And it does froth up a little bit, so then you can't really fit the entire half gallon in there, but I get it as close as I can. And then I mix that around and pour that out into glasses. People love it. If I end up with a lot of milk, like we weren't going through our milk for the week as quickly as we needed to, and milk day was coming around and we needed our jars empty to be able to return them, and we just needed milk, to use milk up, then making this chocolate milk is a great way to get it used up because people drink this so readily. They love plain raw milk too, but this just makes it extra fun. So I hope that you enjoyed coming along to see our day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!